Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to 2025. This is the first video on my channel for the new year, and it's been a little bit as well too. So I wanted to start off this video a little bit differently, a little bit more vlog style, tell a story, chat with you guys for a moment, and just to share a little bit of vulnerability as we start off the new year into some exciting new things. So let's get started. All right, so I made it to the Toy Story parking here at Disney. My favorite place to park, actually, by the way. Not even just because I have an EV and I like to plug in here at the parking lot, just because I feel like it's a lot less hassle when it comes to getting into the park, and also leaving the park. Nothing beats leaving Toy Story parking lot when you're trying to leave after a crowded something or other has just let out, whether that was Fantasmic, fireworks show, or you're leaving when the park closes. You're not dealing with that crazy mess that you see on social media sometimes that can happen when people are trying to leave the Mickey and Friends parking structure or the Pixar Palace parking structure. So Toy Story lot for the win, at least until they start any of these Disneyland Forward projects, and we unfortunately have to say goodbye. But like I mentioned, I wanted to start off this video with a little bit of vulnerability. So if you hadn't already seen on Instagram, I actually was laid off from my job just before Christmas. And I'm not the only one, right? There's a lot of people going through that right now. But it's taken, a little bit of time of that, getting used to it, taking a little bit of a break through Christmas to just kind of be with family and just kind of soak it all in. But now as I start the new year, I want to get, ramping up on certain things. And of course, now that I don't have a job, I have a little bit more time to get back to the things I love, like creating content for you guys, putting out the podcast, etc., things like that. So that's the plan moving forward. I want to get back to the basics, back to posting more videos, back to being regular with the podcast so that, we can hopefully, myself can help grow this channel a little bit more and get back to what it is I liked doing to begin with. But all that's to say, I also wanted to talk about a little bit of a name change here on the channel. Not necessarily a name change, but kind of just an alignment, right? I started this channel a long time ago when I was first Discover the Magic, and then my friend went off and did her own thing with that, and then I named it Just Ask Danny. That name came about because I was on a show, and still am on a show, on Mondo's Five Fires YouTube channel called Speculation Sunday, and just being in Mondo's vlogs or on a live stream of his or on his show, people would always say, well, why don't you just ask Danny or something? If I wasn't there, or if I was there, they'd be like, let's just ask Danny and see what he says. So they would always go to me for like information. So it kind of came known as my nickname. Why don't you just ask Danny? Just ask Danny. And then, as Mondo does, he's so great at creating these little like isms, these little things that people say. It became kind of like my nickname, and he even made a little sticker for it on his channel that people could use when they were referring to me or saying that little phrase. They would put the little Just Ask Danny. So when the time came to change my name from Discover the Magic, Mondo was like, it can't be anything else other than Just Ask Danny. That's what everyone knows you as. So that's kind of how and what I became known as here, kind of like in the theme park creator space. So I went with it. And that's not going to change. I love the Just Ask Danny name. But however, there are other things that I do, like my podcast. My podcast, for those that don't know, is called the 5571 Podcast. And it's a podcast all about what's new and what's happening at Disneyland. Something I created with my good friend David Vaughn. But now it's just me on the podcast, and maybe some other, guests here and there throughout the year. And who knows, maybe there's room for an ongoing co-host in the future. But for now, it's just me. And one of the main requests I've always gotten about the podcast is to make it video. And so many podcasts are going to video nowadays on YouTube. And so I wanted to find a way to do that. And that's kind of the first goal of 2025, is to get the podcast on video. And what perfect way then to do that on YouTube and put it on my channel. So for now, I'm going to rename the channel the 5571. And then the 5571 Podcast is the podcast on the channel. I'm still Just Ask Danny, but the channel is going to be called 5571 just so it's easier for people to find the podcast. and it has a place to live, right? So it'll still be here alongside my theme park updates, reviews, tips, vacation planning, all that kind of stuff. Who knows, maybe I'll do some live streams. I'm not really big on that. I don't like live streams. Maybe more live streams like from home, not necessarily at the park. But there'll definitely be more videos coming, especially since I have a lot more free time. I try to go to the parks more while looking for a new job. But it'll also be the place where you can find the podcast. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you do listen to podcasts on other platforms, that's not going away. It's still going to be there. So you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. It's just also going to be on YouTube. So it's another place for people to watch it and this time and actually see it visually versus just listening to it. So there's an option for both people. So anyways, thanks for listening to my little life update, but now I'm walking actually from Toy Story parking over to Disneyland because I turned the corner and took one look at the security line at Toy Story and I was like, nope. So it's gonna be a busy day apparently, but that makes sense, right? It's the first day. All the Magic Keys, at least that have access, that are able to go back after being blocked for Christmas. So I'm gonna continue walking into Disneyland and hopefully I can still make breakfast over at Carnation Cafe. Now, the walk isn't too bad from Toy Story parking to Disneyland. It's actually pretty enjoyable. I do it a lot anyways, even if I don't have to, when I want to just kind of get a few steps in or whatever. So it's about a 10, maybe 12-minute walk, depending on how fast you're walking. And if you know all the good shortcuts, basically all you're doing is just following the same path that the Toy Story bus takes, no different. I always walk by the Anaheim Garden Walk as well too, and I wonder what's even in there anymore these days. I haven't been in so long. But the other day I actually just went with Mystery Bay and Mondo. We watched Wicked at the AMC theaters there, and I had a chance to kind of like walk around. It had been a while since I'd been there, and there's so many shops I didn't recognize. It was kind of cool. There's even like a game store in there that does Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff. And it was really cool. Like they had tents that you played the games inside of in the store. It was like a campsite set up in the store. It was really unique. The store is called Meeple's Family. I'll have to go show you guys what it looks like one time. But yeah, I was shocked. The garden walk completely changed from what I remember, like what it used to be like. Really, the only thing that's kind of the same is just the outskirts. So your Cheesecake Factory, P.F. Chang's, California Pizza Kitchen, all that kind of stuff. But for the interior, I really didn't recognize anything. Given how bad security was at Toy Story, I can't imagine Harbor Boulevard's all that different, but it's just the feeling of kind of being there already. Makes you feel like you've gotten a little bit faster. So I'm gonna make my over there and see what it looks like. I almost forgot Disneyland is still decked out for the holidays, at least for the time being. But it looks like my move to come over to Harbor Boulevard was a smart choice because it looks way better than what Toy Story was looking like. So this is one of those instances where walking paid off. You can definitely tell it's the first Saturday back for so many Magic Key holders, trying to get that last little bit of holidays in at Disneyland. We got all the entrances open even over here. But I'm gonna try to head in, like I mentioned, go to Carnation Cafe, see if I can put my name down and maybe get in. We'll have to see. So this is the final weekend of the holidays here at Disneyland. They end on Sunday, the 6th. So the last true weekend for everyone to experience the Christmas Fantasy Parade, World of Color Season of Light, Believe in Holiday Magic, and of course all the really awesome Christmas decorations. And then we can start rolling into the new year. Over at Disney California Adventure Park, they will have the Lunar New Year Festival. And then Disneyland will be waiting its turn for its next celebration. And who knows, maybe we even see some decorations start popping up for its 70th birthday. But here we are at Carnation, and let's see if there's even a slight chance we can. Alright, so they were accepting walk-ins, 45-minute wait right now. So I'm over here in the Gibson Girl, just kind of seated and waiting. Probably the least crowded the Gibson Girl is going to be all day today. But I'll just kind of sit here and enjoy the views and wait for our reservation to be called. Finally got seated and we still made breakfast. So, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting the Mickey waffle and maybe a side of eggs. But it's been a while since I've been here, and I'm happy to be back on the first day back here in 2025. Here I got my Mickey waffle. It comes with 2 pieces of bacon. It's been a while since I got, actually pretty big. Look at my hand. Mickey waffle, and I got a little side of eggs as well too. But I think it's a good way to start the new year. Mickey waffle at Carnation Cafe. All right, so I finished breakfast at Carnation Cafe. It was so great. I love going there. It's been so long since I've been, but now I'm headed to the train station because the train actually closes on January 13th, 2025. So just not that long from now, and it's going to be closed for a while. They're actually replacing segments of the track. So I'm headed to do a grand circle tour on the Disneyland Railroad for probably one of the last times before it goes down for a refurbishment. So let's go enjoy the Grand Circle tour. I'll show you guys some of the railroad along the way, but it's been a while since I've even done this, like a full Grand Circle tour. So the Disneyland Railroad is actually going to be down from January 13th all the way through May. It's going through multi-month refurbishment on some of the track, so it's going to be a while. So if you want to enjoy the train, make sure you're getting on it in the next week or so, because that's a long break without the Disneyland Railroad. But it, of course, will be returning in May once Disneyland kicks off its 70th anniversary celebration. We got the coveted shot lined up with the Mark Twain. I always like when I'm either on the train or on the Mark Twain when this is happening.
Traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Finishes the Grand Circle tour. Did one more time, probably my last time before the train closes. But let's check out what else is new around Disneyland. So I wanted to take a quick stop over here outside Tomorrowland. This isn't exactly new, but it's new for me sharing on a vlog anyway. This is Pixie Hollow outside Tomorrowland, and they finally redid it, and it actually looks really good. They redid all the space with all the water features, and even some of the spaces over there that we'll go to in a second that feature some of the fairy characters, which would say to me that they're going to keep the Tinkerbell Fairy meet and greet here for a while. They've got the water fountains working again, which they hadn't. But I think the most important thing here is all the infrastructure inside the fountain that had the fountain set up for the water show and the lights. That's all gone. So for those that are like, maybe they're going to put the water show back over here, that's not going to happen. All the infrastructure on the bottom of the pond is gone. But it looks like what they did is they implemented some of the stuff that they do over at Finding Nemo. They've sprayed some of that kind of like colored glass spackling on the bottom of the water to make the water look blue, when in actuality it's just this like the sprayed spackle on the bottom of the treatment on the bottom of the pond. But it looks beautiful. And it looks exactly how you would expect Pixie Hollow to look in Neverland. So let's go to the other side and we'll look at some of that stuff over there. So here is the signage for Pixie Hollow. And then over here, what I was talking about, the fairies. So they got the water fountains working. They used to kind of jump instead of just be constantly on like that, but at least they're actually working. And they have redone some of the fairy stuff. So some of the buildings over here, the different fairy structures, and some of the fairies' houses have been refurbished. The only ferry that's still out right now, I think her name's Fauna. She's the only one that's out right now, but they've redone a lot of the different things. They even redid the snow back there for like I forget the snow ferry's name, but they used to have all the different ferries out here. So, but at least they're refurbishing this space, right? And I know Tinkerbell is a popular meet and greet, but it's cool to see some of this stuff get redone. The fountain and the water space over here looked really bad. Recently they were kind of trying out some things by like dyeing the water like this really gross toilet bowl blue. But I like this better. Spraying that kind of colored glass on the bottom and then making the water look like it's blue, I think is a much better option. It's sad to see the light show for the fountains go, but I think this is better. And it's more Neverland Pixie Hollow to me. So I wanted to stop over here really quick for a quick little vacation planning tip. It's a Small World actually closes on January the 21st for the removal of It's a Small World holiday, of course, but also for an extended refurbishment. All these attractions like the train, Small World are going down for an extended refurbishment to prepare for Disneyland 70th. So this will also be closing at the end of January on the 21st, but it's going to stay closed through spring, just like the train. So also, if you want to ride Small World before it's closed for a while, make sure you get in your rides at the end of this month to enjoy Small World before it's gone for a long time. So I couldn't come to Disneyland without checking out the brand new Haunted Mansion gift shop. This opened actually just after we went into our blackout period for annual passes. This is the brand new Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond. It's supposed to be a carriage house or horse stable behind the mansion, and it has become taken over by Leota in the days of the mansion being abandoned, right? It's like her little witchy hut. They've got like her herbs drying out here. She's got all her different little accessories and stuff. And again, the shop is called Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond. But let's check it out. So I have been really loving all the details in these little gift shops that they've done lately. You can see there's an homage to the clock inside, and then some other accessories that Madame Leota has gathered, and then they even have her seance table. And this is kind of like an homage to the original seance table over at Haunted Mansion, because it used to have the lamp hanging above it just like this inside Haunted Mansion before they started to change the effect so where she was floating instead of sitting on the stand just like this. But this one has a cool effect. It's like a glitter ball with like stuff inside of it. So every once in a while it comes to life, and it's done that right now. I don't know exactly how it's triggered, but it does. And I also wanted to show you too, they have some instruments kind of floating in front of mirrors here, and then there's a portrait of Madame Leota herself before she became the spirit of just her head in the crystal ball. They even have the gargoyles from inside the Haunted Mansion in here. They have the ringing the bell in there. Very, very cool. You can kind of just spend a bunch of time just looking at all the different things that they've collected and put inside. It is bigger in here actually than I thought it was going to be, but it is a little packed. So I'll give you one last look at everything, and then we'll head out and continue on. But I think they did a really good job on the inside. They made it look aged. It looks like it's been sitting here for a little bit. And of course, the longer things collect dust and cobwebs start to appear, it'll be even better. So let's get a look on the outside one more time. From the front side, actually. So I can kind of show you another angle. So we walk across over here. So here's a view from the outside. Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond, right next to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And of course at the exit of Haunted Mansion. I will say regarding the exterior of the building, when people were originally showing videos and photos of it, it hadn't received its full exterior treatment on like what it was going to look like. You can see now that they've done a treatment to the outside to really make it look older, like it's been sitting here for a while. They started to age the trim. They made the green a little bit less apparent. It's kind of like faded on each slab. We've got brand new copper piping, which you can't really do anything about. They've got copper rain gutters, copper piping all along the side of the building. Eventually, in time, right, the copper is going to patina, and it's going to look really aged and really good. So I think give it time, it'll continue to look better. But all in all, I think they did a really good job on the exterior, kind of fitting it into the Haunted Mansion the best way they could. I think the size might be something to consider. It's a little bit big compared to the Haunted Mansion, but I do think the size does aid in making Tiana's Bayou Adventure seem a lot smaller, which it needs to do, right? Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not supposed to be a mountain. It's supposed to be a salt dome, a southern salt dome, which if you've ever Googled any of those before, salt domes are not big. They're very small, flat hills. There's no such thing as a hill or a mountain in Louisiana, for that matter, or Florida or anywhere else in the South right there. They're flat states. So this building helps decrease the scale of Splash Mountain and make it more of a southern salt dome, which is what it's supposed to be. But all in all, I love the Madame Leota gift shop. I think it's great. I do agree with some of the people criticizing the AI artwork that was used inside the building. But it looks like, as of today, Disney's removed that. So they heard those concerns and they've taken it out. But for now, all like original pieces that they had brought in here is what seems to be left. So I was actually gonna head over to DCA, but now I'm actually gonna do a hard divert over to downtown Disney, because I forgot the brand new Parkside Market just opened today, and I want to check that out first. Maybe we can get a coffee over at Sip and Sonder, or just check out some of the other foods that are there. But that soft opened, I think, yesterday, and then today kind of had a hard launch. So we're gonna head over there next, take the monorail right now over to downtown Disney, and check out Parkside Market. So we made it over here, and here it is. This is the Parkside Market. Features 4 different locations, this being one of them, the Sip and Sonder coffee location, which has an outdoor express window on either side. They've got espresso, tea, coffee, and then inside the Parkside Market you're gonna find Soul Sister, G&G Chicken, and a bar on the second floor. But here's a look. The first floor, you've got the G&G Chicken Shop on the bottom floor and Soul Sister, and then the bar is upstairs. So here's a look at the menu. We have Gigi's Chicken Shop here. It's going to be just like your normal chicken sandwiches, things like that, all quick service. Same with Soul Sister, but they're going to have, this is Korean food, so it's going to have like different bowls. You got your bulgogi beef, your dumplings, things like that. Now you can order from either of these locations. They give you a buzzer, and you can bring it upstairs or have a spot downstairs here, and they'll bring it to your table. And then Sip and Sonder, actually, in addition to those other windows on the outside, they have a window on the inside. So right over here, there's another window inside as well for Sip and Sonder. So there's like 3 different locations that you can order from, and they have their menu listed here too. So if you guys want to pause it on any of these, you can check it out. You can also pull up, I think Sip and Sonder had their menu on the Disneyland app the last I checked. Not sure about the other locations, but they do have a little vegetarian and vegan option listed on the menu. So there's like a lighter green V for vegetarian, and then the darker green V squared logo is for vegan. So I decided I'm gonna go over here to Soul Sister, and I'm gonna get one of the tofu bowls, and then my friend Alex is gonna get the coffee flight from Sip and Sonder, so we'll get to see and try that as well too. So I'm actually gonna be dining downstairs, but I just wanted to walk upstairs really quick to see what it looks like for the Vista View. So you can take your quick service numbers upstairs if you want to. Here's a look at the bar / restaurant up here. Again, it's called Vista. Hey. And then this is the view from outside. It's really, really cool. I've never seen this perspective, right? It's always been on the lower level. We got great views up here. This is gonna have incredible views of the fireworks at night. This is gonna be the prime spot for sure. Yeah, you can take your numbers from downstairs, stick it on the table here, and eat outside if you want. All right, so here's a look at the coffee flight from SipSa. This just gives you an idea of the size of the cups. It's actually a pretty good size, in all honesty. But you get 4 coffees on their specialties menu, which is right here. It's called the Stroll Down Market. You get the Onyx, which is the vanilla charcoal latte, the Sparrow, which is the vanilla dirty chai latte, a Serenade honey lavender latte, and then the Sweet Rhapsody, which is the lavender mocha latte. So we have the Onyx here, the Sparrow, the Sweet Rhapsody, and the Serenade. And this, I think this is Sweet Rhapsody, and that's the Serenade. But they look really good. I actually want to try the dirty chai. I think I'll try the dirty chai. All right, so the verdict is in. The vanilla charcoal latte, the Onyx, is the best one. I was not a fan of the Sweet Rhapsody or the Serenade. Both of those have lavender in them, and I don't like lavender in drinks. Just, it's too floral for me. The Sparrow is pretty good. That was the dirty chai. But I would say the Onyx is for sure the best one. It's good to try the flight if you guys want to get it, but if you're trying to figure out which one of their specialties is the best, and you're buying just a glass of that, I would definitely get the Onyx. All right, so here's the presentation for Soul Sister. I got the crispy tofu bowl with the noodle base. And this is all vegan, so even the aioli sauce is vegan as well. And then I got a side of dumplings, crispy dumplings. This was $8, and it comes with the little dipping sauce. And the tofu bowl was $6. And they do allow you to use your magic key here for a little bit of a discount, so definitely take advantage of that. They also offered lemonade at this location, and like a matcha green tea. Each one was actually pretty reasonably priced, only $5. In stark contrast, actually, to the chicken shop, which its only specialty drink is a frozen lemonade that costs $12. So I don't know, that's pretty outrageous. It even is costing more than any of the really good coffees from SipSa. So I don't know, that frozen strawberry lemonade better be pretty good for $12. But I would say a glass this size with lemonade in it all the way up to the top for $5 isn't too bad for something that's like handmade specialty kind of thing. But let's go ahead and dive into some of the Soul Sister stuff and see what the first Korean food on Disney property tastes like. So all in all, I really enjoyed the Parkside Market. I had the tofu bowl again from Soul Sister inside. It was really, really good. You guys already heard my opinions about SipSa coffee. I thought that was excellent as well. I think this whole Parkside Market is a great addition, not only for the dining options it provides and the atmosphere, but more importantly for that up there. That is the direct viewing of the fireworks show that this location has that really is unbeatable in downtown Disney, with the exception of maybe the upstairs over at the Jazz Kitchen. But let's go ahead and move on. I got one more location to show you in downtown Disney for a construction update. I wanted to stop really quick over here at Disney Wonderful World of Sweets. This is opening sometime in winter. It looks pretty good on the outside anyway. I don't know how far along they are on the inside, but just like per usual, the old Marceline's Confectionery is still selling candy in a little cart outside. But Wonderful World of Sweets isn't open yet. This is going to be featuring a bunch of new sweets and a whole new popcorn counter inside, similar to the one at Epcot that serves Werther's original caramel corn. So not like the one on Main Street at the Magic Kingdom where you can like build your own popcorn bowl with different candy, but more like the Caramel Kitchen in Germany, at least from what they said in the Parks blog post. But yeah, this is not ready to go yet. This is opening winter, so winter could be January, could be February, could even be parts of early March. So we'll have to wait and see on this one. But this is kind of like the last holdout over here besides Portos. But I think that probably wraps up today's video. We did a little bit of Disneyland today. Didn't get to do DCA, but that's something to look forward to maybe on Monday or another day this week. So yeah, we had a great day. Did a Parkside Market. Got to try all that. But I think that wraps it up. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching this video, this quick update of what's new, what's happening at Disneyland, and a little bit of a life update from me. So I appreciate you guys if you made it all the way this far. If you did, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment. Let me know what you're most excited about for in 2025 at the Disneyland Resort. But again, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so that you find out when the podcast is, as well as new YouTube videos. And you can subscribe to me on all the other platforms for social media by just looking up Just Ask Danny, and you'll find it there. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.